Welcome to the CFC Prospect Game Roundup, featuring interviews with the top prospects who had a chance to play on TSN in front of a national audience. We're here today with our first guest, CFC100 Victor Olaniran, out of CFC50 Vincent Massey, who are the current title holders in Manitoba. How's it going today, Victor?
I'm doing really good.
Good stuff. So just before diving into the prospect game, I read over your profile again quickly, and you originally played basketball as a kid before you switched over to football, right? Can you just kind of talk us through the transition from basketball to football, who you played for, and kind of what was the final decision that made you switch over, put a helmet on and pads?
I played basketball in junior high, and after junior high, I was actually thinking about playing club or playing provincials. Then I decided to go to Massey. Then I researched a lot about them, and I found out they had They had a football team. And I also met with their head coach, and I just found a love for it.
Right, and so once you got to Massey, what was kind of the culture once you got into football? What was the differences you found between basketball and football?
There was a lot of differences, and the one that actually stood out to me was it was a team sport. It's not an individual sport. Your actions and everything you do all ends up on everyone. Like, for instance, let's say you come late to practice, you don't have to do the lap alone. Your entire team has to do a lap together.
Right. And so you obviously made a great decision switching from basketball to football, because you ended up being one of the first prospects to ever play in the CFC Prospect Game broadcast on TSN. So what were some of your favorite memories from traveling to Ottawa from Manitoba, playing in the game at TD Place Stadium? What kind of comes to mind when you think about the event?
I mean, traveling with a lot of my friends. I mean, I played with a bunch of guys who I didn't really know much about, and like we played in different teams in Winnipeg, and also like meeting new players and really good players. Yeah.
And who were a couple of the players from Winnipeg that you might have met that you didn't really know before personally? Maybe you knew them because you played against them, you knew their name, but maybe you now have a friendship with them.
My kicker, Ethan Negler, I didn't really know much about him until the prospect game. And also Giordano Vicaro. I played with his brother, but like I didn't really know much about him until I met him at the prospect game.
Right, and so going along with the players, we also had a great group of coaches there. A lot of coaches from youth sports programs who were taking part. What was any specific advice that you took away from the coaches, or even one of your teammates? Could be on the field, maybe some life advice, anything you took away?
So, one thing I took away from the prospect game was, if you make a mistake, do it at full speed.
And do you remember what coach or anybody like that who kind of you gravitated to, maybe kind of took you under your wing a little bit, somebody that you're looking up to at the event?
Chris Hopkins from Carleton.
Right on. And so also we had CFL legends, Henry Burris and Matt Dunnigan, who were both Hall of Famers in the CFL, taking over the helm for both teams. And also on top of that, we had the newly modeled Grey Cup come out for a little presentation. They told you a little bit about the history of the game and about that great trophy. So what was your experience just with all of the coaches, Henry Burris, Matt Dunnigan, just the entire package?
I mean, it was really cool seeing the Grey Cup and seeing all those guys and like meeting like uni coaches and stuff like that. Kind of felt that I had to showcase myself, improve myself, stuff like that, so I could get noticed and stuff like that. Yeah.
And since participating in the game, have you gotten any extra attention from programs that maybe you weren't expecting? Since you are from Manitoba, you got to travel to Ontario, and has it altered your top schools at all?
Oh yeah, I've done a lot of them, and also I've talked to some schools like I never even knew like they were in Canada, like some schools I've never heard about. So yeah, I'm pretty pumped about that.
Right, and what schools have you been talking to so far? What schools have given you some offers?
So I've been talking to U of M, University of Carleton, University of Ottawa, Westerns, McMaster, and York, and also St. Mary's University.
All right, and so obviously the biggest deal about this, it was on TSN. For the first time, we had a national all-star game broadcast on TSN. It was a big deal for not only the prospects, but also your family as well, for a lot of the first time. It was the time that they got to see you play. So what was your family's reaction to watching the broadcast and your chance once you got home, settled in, and got your pads off, and you got to sit down and enjoy it?
Yeah, and actually, first of all, my mom was actually not in town when I played, so she couldn't watch it.
Okay.
But my dad was in town, and he loved it. He loved seeing me on TV and stuff like that. So yeah, he was pretty pumped about that. And he told me, he was like, when next am I gonna see you on TV? And I was like, oh, I don't really know.
Right. And so have you been able to share the link also maybe with some family members, some distant family members?
Oh yeah, I've given I've shared some of the link to my uncles, cousins, some family members in church and stuff like that.
Right. And if one of your friends or somebody came up to you, wanted to ask you about participating in the CFC Prospect Game or one of our other CFC events like the Fox 40 Prospect Challenge, what would you tell them about the experience overall?
I would tell them it's a really good experience, and go out there and give it your all. Don't hold yourself back, because you don't know what might happen at the end of the day. Just give it your all, do your best.